Alright guys, so today we are working with more proofs, and this specifically we're going to work with some fractions and proofs and canceling and things like that. So, start with here, just some basic review. We'll go through this in class, but hopefully you remember when you subtract fractions or add, you have to have a common denominator. When you're dividing, you have to take the reciprocal of the denominator or the second fraction and then multiply across. And when you multiply fractions, you're multiplying straight across. One other thing to keep in mind is how could you combine this into one term? And what you would end up with here is x, y over z. Because what will happen is you'll break down a lot of these trig functions independently, and then to cancel or to combine them into one, you're going to have to be able to take something in this format and put it into that format. Alright, so in this example, we take a look. Left side, most difficult side. Now, if we want to avoid working with fractions within a fraction, let's separate this out to where it's a tangent of x times 1 over secant of x. And once again, now it's going back to what I said here. It starts in this format, and we're taking it back, though. Okay, so we need a sign. What that tells me is we're looking for stuff to cancel, because these are two trig functions. This is one. So let's put things in terms of sines and cosines and see what we end up with. So the tangent is sine over cosine. And 1 over secant, that is equal to cosine. Because remember, cosine is its reciprocal, so if I take the reciprocal of those flip, I get cosine. So then here, anything cancels. Hopefully you notice those cancel, and you're left with a sine of x. Sorry that name looks terrible. Alright, let's look at this guy here. So we're looking at this, clearly left-hand side, most complicated. One thing I would look at here, this is a term, that's a term. So you have two things being added together into one. So we're going to need to add this together because these are two separate and we want one big thing. So to add a fraction, if we put that as a fraction, we need a common denominator. So we're going to multiply this side by sine over sine. So you get a cosine squared of x over sine of x plus, now we have a sine squared over sine. That will come out to equal cosine squared of x plus sine squared of x over sine. Hopefully we remember our identities, that this identity will equal 1. So then you have 1 over sine, which happens to equal cosecant. So those are the examples for today. Hopefully it makes some sense. Like I said, I've left you a whole bunch of extra time so we can try to work on more proofs in class and you can ask questions. Have a good one.